you ever hunt? I think I like it. Although I'm betting I'm a much...
Send Help unfolds as a gripping and deeply unsettling story that reimagines the classic survival horror genre with sharp emotional stakes and moral ambiguity that keeps the audience gripping the edge of their seats. At its heart, the movie takes a simple premise, friends in distress, and elevates it into an intense psychological exploration of trust, fear, and the human instinct to survive when everything familiar disappears. Set against an isolated backdrop where help is distant and danger feels immediate, the narrative immerses viewers into a situation where every decision carries weight and every shadow could hide a threat. The story begins with a group of close friends who decide to take a long-planned trip into the wilderness, seeking a break from the pressures of everyday life. They are individuals with distinct personalities and varied backgrounds, each bringing their own strengths, weaknesses, and personal baggage into the mix. There is the cautious planner who tries to anticipate every possible obstacle, the impulsive risk-taker who thrives on adrenaline, the optimist who believes everything will work out, and the quiet observer who tends to notice things others overlook. This dynamic mix sets up an intriguing interplay of personalities that immediately makes the group feel real and relatable. Their journey starts with excitement and laughter as they set up camp in a remote area far from cell service and urban convenience. The wilderness itself is stunningly beautiful, lush, and vibrant, yet beneath its serene exterior lies an eerie stillness that foreshadows the unsettling events to come. The friends share stories around the campfire, teasing each other and talking about their lives back home, unaware that this night will alter the course of all their futures. There is a sense of carefree abandon in those first moments, but subtle hints suggest that beneath the surface of their adventure lies a growing unease. Things take a sharp turn when the group stumbles upon a distress signal carved into a tree near their campsite. It is crudely etched and clearly not part of any official trail marker, yet it sends an unmistakable message: send help. At first, the friends debate whether to ignore it as a prank left by other hikers, but curiosity and concern eventually lead them deeper into the woods to investigate. This choice marks the moment when the tone of the story shifts from a simple wilderness trip to something much darker, an unsettling mystery that demands answers. As they follow the trail of signs and cryptic markings, the atmosphere thickens with tension. The forest, once picturesque, seems to shift around them, shadowy and unwelcoming. Strange sounds echo through the trees, unidentifiable rustlings, distant cries that could be human or something else entirely. The friends begin to argue, not out of anger, but from the anxiety that creeps into their minds when faced with the unknown. Trust, once solid among them, begins to fracture as fear takes root. They eventually discover the source of the distress signal, remnants of another group's campsite, left in disarray as if the occupants vanished into thin air. Tents are torn, supplies scattered, and the eerie message "send help" appears again etched on a nearby rock. This discovery sends shockwaves through the group, forcing them to reckon with the possibility that something is gravely wrong beyond simple misadventure. The forest no longer feels like an escape from their troubles. It feels like a trap. One by one, strange occurrences begin to escalate. They find footprints that lead nowhere, sudden noises that stop as soon as they turn to look, and glimmers of movement in the distance that disappear before anyone can focus on them. These moments are brief but intense, designed to unsettle without revealing their source. The group's collective tension grows with every step, and conversations become fragmented, filled with half-spoken fears and unasked questions. As night falls, the friends make the uneasy decision to return to their campsite, but they quickly realize that the woods are not as easy to navigate in the dark. Paths that seem clear in daylight twist into unfamiliar territory, and familiar landmarks vanish as if erased from the landscape. Panic sets in, and the group fractures into smaller factions, each reacting differently to the mounting pressure. Some cling to logic, insisting they must stay together, while others are driven by pure fear, running toward perceived safety without direction. In the midst of this chaos, the first real crisis strikes. One friend disappears without warning, vanishing into the shadows as the others watch in horror. There is no scream, no struggle, just silence where once a voice had been. This disappearance shatters the fragile illusion that they might all make it through this ordeal. Grief and fear collide, and the remaining friends are forced to grapple with the terrifying reality that something in these woods is taking more than just their peace of mind. Desperation begins to replace hope. With each passing hour, the group's cohesion dissolves. Accusations fly, tempers flare, and old tensions flare into new ones as fear overrides reason. In this unraveling, the movie explores how different personalities cope with crisis. Some retreat inward, paralyzed by panic, while others lash outward, driven by survival instinct alone. In the chaos, alliances shift, and the line between friend and threat blurs amid these emotional and psychological battles. The forest itself seems to pulse with life, almost responding to the survivor's fear. Shadows lengthen unnaturally, night sounds become more dissonant, and every tree seems to conceal hidden eyes watching their every move. Whether this sensation is real or a manifestation of fear is unclear, and that ambiguity fuels the narrative tension. The audience is left wondering whether the true horror lies within the forest or within the minds of those trapped inside it. One of the most compelling elements of the story is how it explores the collapse of communication. Cut off from the outside world with no way to call for help, the friends are forced to rely on each other even as trust breaks down. With no rescue forthcoming, the true test becomes whether they can maintain their humanity in the face of terror. This theme resonates deeply, reminding viewers that fear can be as devastating as any physical danger. As the night wears on, the remaining friends uncover clues suggesting that others before them experience similar fates. Journal entries, broken equipment, and disturbing sketches hint at a pattern of disappearance and desperation that spans weeks, perhaps even months. These discoveries inject a chilling realization that the forest is not merely a backdrop, but an active participant in their ordeal. The group's narrative becomes part of a larger, unexplained mystery that extends beyond their own struggle. Gradually, fragments of truth begin to emerge. The friends start piecing together a theory that the forest may possess some inexplicable force or presence that lures people deeper into its depths, feeding on fear and solitude. This realization comes not through scientific reasoning but through intuition, as each character confronts moments of eerie clarity amid the chaos. Whether this force is supernatural, psychological, or something else entirely remains unresolved. And that uncertainty drives the tension toward its harrowing climax, the climax of the story pits the remaining friends against their deepest fears. With daylight approaching, they attempt one last desperate push toward safety, only to discover that escape might require confronting the very thing that has plagued them all night. In doing so, they face not only the external threat, but the internal demons that have surfaced in the hostile environment. This confrontation tests their resilience, loyalty, and capacity for hope in the face of overwhelming terror. In the final moments of the story, the survivors find themselves transformed by their ordeal. Some make it out physically, but the emotional and psychological scars remain. Those who escape carry with them memories that defy explanation and a profound shift in their understanding of what surrounds them. They are changed, not just by fear, but by the stark realization of what it means to confront the unknown and emerge on the other side. Send. Help resonates because it taps into a primal fear, being lost, alone, and hunted in a world that no longer feels safe or familiar. It explores how fear can fracture the strongest bonds, how the mind can become both ally and enemy, and how the fight for survival often reveals the deepest truths about ourselves. The story leaves the audience with lingering questions about reality, perception, and the unseen forces that may lie just beyond human understanding. In the end, it is not just a tale of horror, but a meditation on human resilience and the terrifying beauty of confronting the unknown.